Like I've said in previous videos, one of my quotes from many years ago is that the truth shall always be perceived as a threat to an empire built of lies. Now you have to understand, the name science fiction was created to hide the truth, just as the moniker conspiracy theorist was created in 1963 after the JFK assassination by the CIA to instantly and immediately discredit anyone who dare question the narrative that you're being handed as the truth, which is actually not. The same thing that holds true in Hollywood movies, how they vilify aliens from other worlds. First off, they get you to believe that's just nonsense and ridiculous fiction, it's garbage, science fiction. And then secondly, they want you to vilify them by thinking that they're going to invade the world and, invaders from Mars and all this. So what actually happens is you're not empowering the real truth. So they get you to believe that these things are fiction. They don't, like when they say use your imagination, but if you look at the definition of the word imagination, what do you see? It says imaginary, fiction, not real. So they want you to immediately discredit your imagination by not empowering it. This is how they get you to neutralize yourself and to isolate yourself in like this self-contained environment of absolute nothingness that they control, like a cell, not just a prison cell, like a battery that they can use for their purposes. So this is a very dead serious video I'm doing here. You don't even think twice when you hear the word science fiction because you already have been convinced that it's not real because it's science fiction. See, when you hear the word science, you immediately give it credibility because you've been trained to do that. So that's why I say follow the science, listen to the science, trust the science. And most people think that the science that they have to offer is the end-all, be-all explanation to all things universal, which is, of course, again, it's nonsense. I can get into an hour-long video as to how and why that is, but I just would rather not. But the fact is that they get you to immediately accept these things as at face value as the absolute truth. And I'm also guilty of it too. I remember in 2001 when the towers were dropped, that the news was using propaganda and they were basically saying anybody from a Middle Eastern descent, like India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, is a terrorist. So where I lived, not even 2 blocks away, there was a gas station. And back then it was run by a few gentlemen from the Middle East. I think they were from Pakistan or India. And I knew them for years. And then after that news broadcast, I started to look at them as if they were terrorists. So then this was when I'm much younger. And then after a while, I was like, wait a minute. I didn't catch on at first, but I was like, wait a minute. Something's going on here. I think I'm being manipulated because back then I wasn't spiritual. I didn't have any opening of my mind or anything like that. I thought exactly what they told me. I am my body. Your thoughts are in your mind. All of that stuff. So what did I know? I was just absolutely clueless. This was before I read the book There's a Spiritual Solution to Every Problem by Dr. Wayne Dyer. And also, this is before I read the book The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, a Brazilian author. Genius. But yeah, just like many people, especially these days, I was just a part of the brainwashing and manipulation program. The television, we didn't have cell phones back then. We had the internet was basically kind of in its infancy a little bit in 2001. I mean, it had been around for, it was not too long. I mean, AOL was basically the top company that was running the internet. You had dial up. That was it. The fastest speed was DSL cable, something like that. And it wouldn't be until I think, no, well, no, I think, yeah, I think the cable modems had come in then, just, but they were in their infancy though. So that was a quicker speed, but still people were using dial up and such. So it was pretty much in its infancy. I think dial up was like 98, 99, something like that. Or in the 90s. I don't really remember too well. But anyway, getting back on topic, I just remember, I was like, I didn't know anything about spirit or, all the stuff that's actually going on. I had no idea. I didn't really read books. I was not into that kind of stuff at the time. I was busy taking care of my family and so on and so forth. But I do remember when I watched the towers drop, and then we started to, for the first time, I flew an American flag outside our home, and I bought into the whole thing, hook, line, and sinker. And then yeah, I was just started looking at every single person of a Middle Eastern descent as if they were a terrorist, because I was being conditioned by the news, which is, of course, propaganda and mind control, and being young and susceptible and believing what you're told and all this stuff. And I was like, wow. And then it wasn't too long after, I was like, wait a minute. I had an uncomfortable feeling like something was wrong, like, wait a minute. I think I'm being manipulated, and I didn't have anything to really give it contrast or reference to, because my experiences to that point were basically like everybody else. This is the only world there is. You are the body. This is the only reality. That type of thing. That linear lateral mentality. That's all I had. I didn't have anything really to draw from that would give me contrast to say that this is a lie, or anything to reference to give me full, complete, detailed information about how this is just not true. I didn't have that. I mean, the program mechanism that I was given was the one that many people still have today. Belief system, do what we tell you to do. All the sciences are true. We know everything, and you are nothing. We're above you. You're just a peasant. You're a maggot. And listen to everything we say and just go about your business. Pay your taxes. Shut up and die an early death. That type of thing. So, then the universe interceded when I was in my 20s and gave me those two books. I read them one after the other, and then I was like, wait a minute, it was the inception of my it wasn't so much an epiphany. It was just a series of events that led up to the realization of something that was basically trying to get my attention my entire life. So yeah, it was very profound for me. I was like, wait a minute, I think I'm being played here. And then when we voted in 2000, that whole freaking debacle, I was like, oh my God, what? That was just, if you're curious as to what I'm referring to, just look up 2000 election. It was George Bush and Al Gore. What a nightmare. What a nightmare. And I was like, wow, this is just sickening, And then I started to put the pieces together. Then a little bit after came the movie Fahrenheit 9/11, and then I'm like, I was the documentary. Then I was like, I started. That's really how it works in this life. If you're interested, it's not going to come to you. It's not going to be like a big package dropped on the door of your life, going boom. Here's everything you need to know right now. It doesn't work like that. It's like you could be hanging out. You might catch a conversation like a couple of tables down if you're at a restaurant. You hear somebody saying something, or you see something on TV or whatever it is. You could pass them by in a little magazine clip or a news article. So it's these things you piece together, or somebody tells you some information, or you just stumble on something which you're actually not stumbling on. Everything is being, guided to you, so you can become aware of it, and it's basically the elements of your awakening. It's the catalyst of your ascension. At that time, I didn't know. What did I know? I was in my 20s. So it was just it wasn't an arduous process on my part. It was just, a shocking revelation, because I was like, what? I am not the body. This earth is not my home. What? That was like so alien to me to hear that. I'm like, I am not the body. What does that mean? That's ridiculous. This guy's a nut job. I thought Dr. Dyer was crazy. I was like, I am not the body. I was like, and then I heard somebody else say the earth is not your home. And then, you find out that life is an illusion. Then you start to piece them together. Not like a puzzle, because it's not a game. It's just like a book of information that you're just piecing together. Like when you go out and do investigative research or whatever it is, you get little bits here, little bits there, you piece it together and you make like a whole complete report or whatever you're looking to accomplish. That's basically how it was for me. So I know for a fact that the term science fiction is used to hide the truth, because they want you to believe that flying saucers and it's teleportation, 0 point energy, mind control, the MK Ultra project. That's not even the surface, man. That's not even the surface. There's so much underneath that. That's the cursory stuff, like the stuff that's hidden in plain sight. I mean, I don't want to really take my channel to that point, because then it's going to start to look like, well, this guy's a conspiracy theorist. He's a nut job. No, conspiracy theorist is a moniker that was created in 1963 by the CIA, just like science fiction. the term science fiction, immediately you think, oh, well, if science says it's fiction, that it's not real. It just must be like my imagination, imaginary. You see how things aren't adding up? Once you start questioning and you don't back down and you just refuse to accept at face value as what they're saying is the absolute, unequivocal, undebatable truth, irrevocable, immutable. Not no bueno, not happening. Absolutely not. So that's where it began for me. I'd say in the 90s and late 90s and the early 2000s. It just was like a steady flow of things. You know, then I started to get into crystals, and I started to do open mics, and people were giving me crystals and advice, and a lot of spiritual people would come around and start talking to me about meditation, and then the chakras, the third eye, all that. And I just started to piece it together, like, energy. And then it just started to really dawn on me. I was like, wait a minute, something larger than me is happening, not just around me, but inside me. And I remember I always used to love to give everybody hugs. And then they used to tell me, you give the best hugs. And I thought they were just being complimentary, but turns out that I carry a very heavy healing energy, that I was a spiritual healer. Didn't even know it. I'm also a mystic, a lot of other things. I have great powers as far as helping people who have passed to cross over to reach heaven. They pass through my heart, not just people, any souls, animals, could be even people who have already passed over that have been stuck in some sort of like in between, that want to cross over. But anyway, it was all a revelation to me, slow and steady. I mean, especially open mics, people would tell me, you have 11 chakras and they're aligned perfectly. I've never seen this before. Other people would tell me. One guy took a picture of me playing. My aura just looked like a rainbow. I couldn't believe it. I said, "Did you do anything to this camera?" He says, "No, this is your aura," and it just blew me away. Absolutely blew me away. Just things like that. And then you just when you go out there and you start to socialize with these types of individuals, they start to enlighten you about things, because it's meant to be that way. It's always been destined for you to cross paths with these individuals, to bring you information that helps you help yourself to the awakening process and the ascension. I remember one lady, she says, "You are Jesus Christ." I said, wait, back up that truck. There's only one Jesus. Then she said, "Okay, well, then you have a Christ consciousness." I said, "That I'll take," because I told her, I said, "There's only one Jesus." I mean, the name Jesus is fictitious, but the celestial being that you would refer to as Jesus. So just for argument's sake, for lack of a better name, I just use Jesus so people understand what I'm referring to and whom. So yeah, it was like a lot of stuff. This has been it's always going to keep going, the journey. It doesn't end. It doesn't end. When you're here, when you're gone. So, I mean, this is stuff I just pick up, and I'm like, yeah, it's true. That's true too. So you piece everything together. You see how they've been controlling you since day one. Your understanding of life, your perception, your interpretation of things, how you relate to things, how you interact. It's all controlled. What you believe in, your core set of values, your morals, ethics, scruples, principles, all of this stuff's all controlled. Your mannerisms, how you conduct yourself, how you are allegedly in control of your faculties, but you're not. Just things of this nature. You start to like, wait a minute. Then it really hits you that, wait a minute, my whole life has been a series of lies, and I've been controlled by something outside myself. And that's when you really start feeling violated, and so that's why I do these videos. I'm like, just in the hopes that somebody could watch these things and just make their journey a little easier. If something's been like, like mulling around in the back of their head, and like, kind of like urging them to go explore, to find information as to how they can satisfy these questions into becoming answers and solutions to things they call problems that they can rectify. And, incorporate in their life as something of a beneficial nature to allow them to move forward in a progressive manner. That's really what it's all about for me, because that's really what the purpose of information is to serve, to enlighten you and make you aware, more knowledgeable, more intelligent, things of this nature. So you broaden your perceptive lens on life instead of having it so narrow like a laser scope. It's now panoramic with peripheral vision incorporated in that, and that's exactly the premise of what the universe is attempting to accomplish through these series of informations and situations, circumstances, experiences, interactions that we have with others. And that's the whole purpose of experiences, basically the same as it is with everything else, to get you to understand that the universe is attempting to teach you things about yourself and about others that can help you, help yourself, and help others, because it's all about influencing. You influence you influence people as much as they influence you, and that's the reciprocity of the transfer and exchange of life on planet Earth. So yeah, before I wrap up the video, I just wanted to say, anything they tell you, just don't believe it. I mean, all of these pre-orchestrated chaos conflicts around the world, they're all done by design by the same warmongers. They meet in the woods or wherever they meet. Like, okay, we're going to start this. This. Don't forget, folks, this is an election year. So there's a lot of, hey, wag the dog's tail over here, look over here. People doing behind the back, and we don't see anything. That's the whole premise of this stuff. So, don't be fooled. Because you're much smarter and you're far better than that. But they don't believe so. They believe that you're ignorant and you have no capacity for, proactive autonomous intelligence. They just think that you just do what you're told and you don't ask questions, and you just want to stuff your face with junk food and watch TikTok all day long. That's basically what they think of you. But the universe doesn't. But anyway, yeah. So to end the video, just, you do what you feel is comfortable, what's right to you. But hopefully videos like this are, allowing you to understand a deeper and broader sense of what's actually going on and transpiring in the world, that it's all orchestrated, it's not real, and it's all done by design to distract you, to get you to bring your awareness to these psychic traps, these ambushes. It's psychic sabotage. It's the dark arts. This is operating through the ethers of dark matter, and this is some heavy duty stuff. But just keep your awareness towards you elevating yourself, moving forward, rising higher, becoming lighter and lighter, shedding all that dead weight from the past, cutting loose all the toxic people from your life, and just loving yourself more and more every day. And that's really what it's all about. Enjoy the journey, man. We don't know how long we're going to be here. Some of us might come back. Some of us may never return. We go to another Earth. But nonetheless, it's a journey that we're sharing together at this moment in this time, which is a beautiful thing, and I do respect it. But anyway, science fiction, it's just created to hide the truth. Anytime they tack on anything like that, they're trying to disguise something or hide something and deceive you into believing that what you're hearing is the truth. So therefore, you won't empower it to be the truth. So therefore, it won't be. That's why they refer to your most powerful energy as your imagination, because you don't think it's real. So therefore, your energy isn't sent to it. So therefore, you're not utilizing its unlimited capacity. And that's exactly why they do what they do to you. Peace.